like to call to order Palmyra Borough Council meeting Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence for armed forces. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Roll call?
Roll call.
Okay. I'm sitting here, I feel. I have two microphones. I could probably boom myself out tonight. Counselor Andrews?
Present.
Counselor Flegel? Here. Counselor Pearson?
Here.
Counselor Rydell?
Here.
Counselor Shear?
Here.
Counselor Snyder?
Present.
Counselor Wilson?
Here.
Mayor Miller?
Here.
We have a full house.
All right, announcements. Everyone, please silence all cellular devices during the meeting. And council members, please remember to turn on your microphones. There are no special visitors scheduled for today, so that will take us to public comment period number 1. Please step to the microphones, state your name, address for the record, and try to limit your comments to 5 minutes.
David Hine and 651 South Harrison, right here in good old Palmyra. So I actually wrote my comments down this week instead of off the cuff. I wanted to make sure and be precise with them. So last month I attended the Borough Council meeting on January 27th. As a concerned resident, I highlighted driving hazards created by the incompetent snow removal team who apparently worked hard but did a terrible job, yet for some reason earned your praise. Let me remind you, working hard and doing a good job are very different things. If you boarded a flight with a new pilot and he flew the plane well but landed at the wrong airport, would you be okay with that? You made excuses for new hires, and I don't accept those excuses. 3 days after the meeting, I was almost involved in a head-on collision with a minivan headed east, turning off of West Oak onto Hetrick Avenue. Fortunately, we were both cautious due to the treacherous conditions your road crews had created, and we narrowly avoided a collision. Given the wildly incompetent job Palmyra did plowing, this 2-lane street was still single lane, and I reversed back out onto West Oak and proceeded east to find another street that was unoccupied by other drivers to make my turn. Unbelievably, over a week after the storm, Cherry Street still did not have 2 clear lanes of traffic. The borough should be embarrassed at the tax dollars squandered on this snow cleanup effort. Fun fact, after the last meeting, a local member of the community with available resources donated his time, equipment, and fuel going out to clean up our post office, Ford Street Elementary child drop-off area, and other places around town. Shocking what one motivated individual can do when the government fails its citizens and children. We owe him a dedicated gratitude and a tank of gas. Who was this kind individual? Dave Brandt from Brandt Landscaping. And know this, during all his time out in the cold, working for his community at cost to him personally, not once was Palmyra Plow Team spotted. It's shocking and embarrassing. What have we learned? After challenged with a very, very real problem, Palmyra did nothing and allows us to conclude one of 2 things for this council. A council I was referred to by the unelected staff because they couldn't or wouldn't do anything. 1, you were not willing to tackle the real issues that face the community. You wanted the position, but none of the responsibility that comes along with it. You're happy sitting here voting on closing roads for parades and discussing zoning for cat rescue, where you were told by the gentleman on the end that you really have no say. The unelected bureaucrats who do not elected by the residents of Palmyra will decide on that. Or two, you don't have the authority to tackle real issues, and Palmyra residents are beholden to the unelected staff that forces me to submit a detailed layout of my property, including total impervious cover, so that I can pay for a permit to park my John boat on my property. Meanwhile, I have to be cautious walking my daughter to school due to poison ivy growing over the sidewalks and unkept properties, or walking single file with my wife and dog because bushes have overgrown the walk area. Then there's the potholes we have to deal with. Some natural, like you'll find at the intersection of Franklin and Birch, where Noah's Ark, or Noah's Little Ark Preschool, causes traffic issues multiple times a day, blocking traffic and private drives. The other depressions we get to drive around like it's an F1 road course, so are the remnants of private companies like PA Water and UGI Gas digging in the street through subcontractors like Ebersol Excavating and not finishing the job for months on end. Finally, we have a great little town. We really do. But we have some serious problems to tackle, some of which involve the safety of Palmyra's children, Palmyra's future. I'm one of Palmyra's children, all grown up and flowing money back into my community. We ask amazing people like Mel, the crossing guard at Ford Street Elementary School, to keep our kiddos safe, hollering at speeding motorists through a school zone. Pass a school bus with a stop sign out, 2 years indentured servitude to the state. Almost kill Mel daily? Whatever, no problem. He volunteered for the hazardous assignment. That's his problem. The big question for me this evening, are you people of action who care about this town, or just politicians full of words and empty promises, voting on items of no consequence to the town, proud of your title, waiting for the unelected to act?
Thank you so much for coming, Dave. This has actually been,
Not the response I expected.
what?
Not the response I expected.
I'm not ready. Let me continue. No, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate everyone who shows up because you're taking time out of your schedule. And if you're showing up here, it's pretty important. And that's something that I'm listening to, and I think all of us are listening. This is a huge issue, and this is something that we've all been, there have been a lot of conversations about. We've actually been out in the streets and trying to work on some things. You guys can stop me if I go into a different direction. So there was some instructions given initially, the way I understand it. We were trying to correct things.
We're gonna, we're definitely going to be addressing the snow problems tonight.
We hear you.
Yes.
We agree.
It's definitely something that's very concerning with how everything was done. And we will be looking into some of these things that you were talking about.
And I am sorry that it hasn't been remedied thus far.
May I go next?
Anyone?
My name's Annette Gerhardt. I own the Cinderella property at 62 West Main Street and the apartment building next door. I'm very concerned about the snow removal, what we went through, why you people don't talk to the churches, the shopping malls out at the edge of town, get the cars off the streets, let the plows plow to the curb and not these piles sitting randomly. You may not have the money to remove the snow like was done years ago. I've been living in this town since 1970, and it's pathetic what we had to put up with, because my building is 2/3 of a block long, and Turkey Hill was a wreck. And they're still parking in the area that I had my son clear. Talk to the churches, they need money. They'll gladly rent you space to get these cars off the street. I don't understand why some of this hasn't happened previously. Number two, I just really am shocked that Palmyra has not progressed to what could be a huge tourist asset to the Hershey Park attendance. You got millions of people coming in every year in the summer and winter, and you're not taking advantage of it. I've watched it now for almost 70 years. What's wrong? Does anybody have an answer?
I have some ideas that I would agree with you as well. And in the past, I recognized that Palmyra, when I was on the council at that time, was the fact that we are next to Hershey. And a lot of the folks that actually live in the town, there's a lot of work that they work to be able to come here. But to make the town better, I know that other towns I've been in is to, simple thing like to put flowers throughout the town. Okay, just to bring some influence so that people come in and puts a smile on their face.
That's not gonna do it.
Well, no, but that's step one, the first step, to bring them in so that we can get restaurants and start to begin that process. And it didn't get passed. So it was a penny a day per person in our town to put flowers like Hershey did. And that was step number one. So I can't go into the whole details that I had, but that was step one, and it wasn't approved. But you are very correct.
And that,
The condition of this town when you enter it from Lingle Avenue or from the east side, it's pathetic.
Yes, and that was another thing I brought up, is to make that entrance over there show Palmyra like a great town. And that
Yeah.
hasn't, that didn't get approved either.
I've had my business here since 1970. I was doing $1 million a year out of that building because it was made a draw. I don't understand what you people are doing.
Annette, I know we've spoken many times, you probably don't remember me, but I have a lot of respect for you as a business owner. And I was just wondering, have you ever been involved with PABA? I know a few years ago there was a revitalization effort, and it kind of fizzled a bit. But I believe, to my knowledge, PABA has been kind of dabbling in that, trying to get that going again. So that would involve some grants and things like that to improve downtown. That might be something that your experience might.
Well, may I interrupt you, because I know I only
Absolutely.
have 5 minutes. The antique cars that are sitting on College Street next to Turkey Hills property, what is wrong? I've talked to the police twice, can't move them. You don't have laws on the book. They can stay there for 100 years. They're wrecks. In the summer, the manager of Turkey Hill told me sometimes people are sleeping in them. Now, we all know Simon Brandt, the junkyard on Main Street. Why are we not doing something? I never lived in the borough. Had I lived in the borough, I'd have run for mayor.
Okay, all right.
But I'm leaving.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not running for mayor. I'm 88 years old.
Wow. Okay, well, congratulations for that.
Well, yes,
Absolutely.
I'm still surviving.
I know, you're doing well.
But those jalopies
Yeah.
have got to leave.
They're the ones that I'm talking about. They're registered, they're inspected, and they have
Yeah.
insurance. They're allowed to be parked on the
But you
street.
don't legislate against it. I don't get
But
it.
they
can't
do.
do that
They
on
have,
that one.
they actually have an ordinance that was passed that if you're uninspected
Mm-hmm.
and unregistered, you get parking tickets for that. If you're
correct.
registered, legally parked, and have valid inspection and registration, you can park your car there. Just because they don't move it doesn't mean it's breaking a law.
Well, make a law that they break.
But you can't do those things.
Yeah, but you can't leave junk parked on streets.
But if it's registered and inspected,
inspected.
it's allowed to legally be on the street in Pennsylvania.
Somebody's got to change the law.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I'm not here to make trouble. I'm here to improve the community.
Yep, I do
So-
understand.
Chief, is that there, you can park,
You can
For-
park a car anywhere on a
For any
public
length of
street as
time.
long as it's,
Yep.
yeah, because they
Even if
got
it
rid
doesn't
of it a
move for
long time
months.
ago. Yeah,
If it's not licensed or registered, it's gotta be inside your garage, right?
supposed to be right on the street.
I was just clarifying.
Thank you for your comments. We will.
Thank you.
appreciate you
I
coming.
have much more to say, but I'll finish.
Anyone else for public comment number one?
Yes. William Zeiders, 333 East Main Street. I've got a lot to bring up here. I plowed the whole side of North Harrison because nobody else showed up there. And I did have one time the plow truck showed up. They went down the street and turned around and come up and tried to shove more snow under my cars. 5 of them in a row. And that. And this cleanup that's going up by the state, did you see the state today out cleaning it up? On the corners, taking the big piles of snow off? I talked to them for over 2 hours to get them to start doing that. To get our intersections cleared up, because I pointed out to them that that is a state highway, and if it's unclear at the intersections, they can be held responsible. And that. Now my next thing is with Roger Powell and that leaving, I think that when we have a new borough manager and assistant manager, they shouldn't have the job unless they live in the borough. Because they get in their car and drive back to Elizabethtown and their house is nice and fine. And here we sit with nothing. And I've talked to, like Roger, I plowed snow for over 5 years for the Derry Township. And I run the grader, I ran the loader, I ran every piece of equipment they had up there and that. And there is no excuse for what this has done here. There's places on Grant Street that it's 20-some feet from the curb out, and nobody's parking and nobody's shoveling. That should have been pushed back to the curb and that. And you need to slow down when they go too, because I've had cars that they almost broke the windows out of with the slush. And when you tell somebody here, it doesn't go any further. And then for the next thing I'd like to talk about is the ambulance chaser that we call a code enforcer. And that. He's out there running down Main Street, writing businesses up that everybody shoveled, because I take care of the district justice's office there. And I know I shoveled it. And the state came down and flipped the snow back on the sidewalk. Those were maintained and were shoveled. And there's no reason for him to run down there and writing like Taste of Sicily and all them up because they had snow on their sidewalk. It was beyond that. They shoveled it within their 24 hours. And like I said, I tried to speak to him about something that Click Lewis at their detail shop about that sidewalk that we've mentioned here before. That they painted the lines. Well, the state went down there and rolled a great big windrow right on the sidewalk. And when I started to tell him about it, he tried to make a fool out of me. And I said, now if we want to make a fool, let's see how far we can go. And I got my phone out and showed him the pictures. And then he told me, oh, that snow wasn't there. Somebody else put that there since then. You don't get a windrow this high down past a solid thing past a business like that, but somebody just came in and happened to push a little snow. that was done during the storm. And then at that point, like I said, I was actually calling to report Click Lewis because they seem to get away with a lot more than what everybody else does in this town. And I think, like these people said, I put flower pots out front. I keep my house immaculate. And when there's a parade, I try and keep it that way too, for the respect of the people in the parade. And there's no reason, except these people rent to these people in these apartments. The apartment next to me has 4 people in. They throw the McDonald's bags and everything right out the car on the street. And it all blows in my yard, in my hedges that I gotta pick up. And when you call the proprietor, Harrisburg or whatever that is, that's taking care of them, they say, well, call the police and have them arrested or do this or do that. That doesn't solve the problem. The problem is get tenants that you gotta tell them, this is what you do in this community. I have a fence at my house right now. It has a hole in it about this big, and it's $1,500 a section for vinyl fencing. And I called up and told them people when they, I called Harrisburg Property and I told them about the people that live there shoveling the snow up against my vinyl fence in 7-degree weather. Now, what do you think plastic is gonna do? Snap and poke holes in. So we need more control over these apartments. Like we said, we need another code enforcer. Because like I said, he got so ignorant with me and walked off because he said that I wouldn't listen to him. I said, I'm not listening to you because I'm proving you wrong. And that. And other than that, like I said, that's what we need to work on. And as of the snow, even though the mayor didn't declare emergency, I've investigated this, the governor declared an emergency.
And that's why I didn't.
Well, you still should have, but anyway, that's
It's not
beyond
true.
that.
When the governor does it, it's already approved. That
No,
I did, there's
each
no
town
sense in
should
having
do
to
it
do
too.
it. You don't
But
have
I
to
went
when he
through,
does
I
it.
went through this,
Okay,
and I got
go ahead.
FEMA to get a hold of the state, and I've talked to big people in the state, and they're also reprimanding that snowplow driver that covered all those sidewalks. Okay,
So when you say the code enforcer, are you talking about ours?
yes.
Yeah, okay. You have something to say?
I was just gonna thank him for his comments.
And you were talking about Harrisburg Property Management?
Yes,
Okay.
because like I said, I wound up plowing North Harrison all the way down, and then John's flooring, he plowed the other block
Yeah.
by the thing there. We worked together, both
Yeah.
of us.
The things that you're bringing up are definitely things that we've been talking about and working on.
Yeah,
I
we'll
understand that.
we'll be looking into this stuff.
There's
Yeah.
education on plowing. It's not just get in the truck and drive.
Um,
We had plowing school for 2 days, every year when the winter came at Derry Township, to tell you how to plow cul-de-sacs, how to plow
Th-
streets. You don't go straight across the street and leave a windrow this big.
Thank you for
Yeah,
your comments.
thank you.
Anybody else for,
I just have a question. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you shovel your sidewalk and the plow goes back through and gets snow back on your sidewalk, you are responsible to clear it again, correct?
Yes.
That's right.
However, there is, I've been doing some research into this whole snow plowing issue. There's more to be done, but from what I understand from the research I've done is if a resident clears their sidewalk within a 24-hour period, and we come through on the borough streets only and plow it shut again, we cannot cite them. Now, the question remains,
I'm not talking about plowing shut because
yeah, but it's not even,
I had a neighbor do a U-turn and they knocked some snow back on my sidewalk. I'm responsible. I need to get that snow back off. I mean, it's just a
Right.
fact of
Right.
living there.
Right.
I have
Right.
to clean my sidewalk.
It's like if there's drifting from
Right.
wind or something
Right, you
like
have to
that,
re-clear it.
you have to clear it again.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
with you.
Yeah.
I
I just
feel like-
wanted to clarify.
So at the request of your president, I've been doing some research into the snow plowing issue, and I will have more information to share with all of you once I've, discussed it with the solicitor as to what
Okay.
we can and cannot.
Okay, thank you.
Right, I believe last meeting we said that there was case law from the Commonwealth Court on.
That is what
on
I'm
that
researching.
Okay. Anybody else for public comment?
Say one thing. When I worked for Berry Township, if you plowed somebody's sidewalk like that, they told you get in the pickup truck and take a shovel and go clean it. You learned your lesson not to do it again.
Anybody else for public comment number one? All right, we'll close public comment number one. We'll move on to the consent calendar. Approve of the minutes of the January 27, 2026 Borough Council meeting.
Motion.
Second. Go ahead.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right. Action discussion items. We have a bid award for sewer pump station number 3, relocation and replacement. Discussion on if appropriate.
I do have something to update you all with, though, on this. The property owner that owns a property where our pump station is currently located has agreed to allow us to proceed, but they are in the process of creating a new agreement between them and the borough. So since we've had, the bid opening, they're okay with us moving forward. We'll work with you, their attorneys, and with our solicitor to make that agreement work for everybody. So it's not an issue for us to move forward. So awarding this is okay.
Thanks, Brenda.
Thanks, Brenda.
Suggested motion to authorize the borough engineer to issue a notice of intent to award a contract to the following low bidders. Contract 2025-01, general construction for $624,500 to PSI Pumping Solutions Incorporated, 400 Main Street, Suite A, York Springs, PA 17372. Contract 2025-02, electrical construction, $150,700 to Electra Tech Services LLC, 129 Cobbler Lane, Pottstown, PA 19464.
Motion.
Second.
Brenda,
All in favor?
Brenda, this is coming out of the special sewer fund, correct?
This is coming out of
That's
the
what Rob said
special
last
sewer
time.
fund. It's not coming out of your regular sewer fund.
Thank you. Sorry, Denver.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. That takes us, anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that the Borough Council initiate a 60-day review of the borough snow removal operations, including staffing, equipment, routes, communications, and response procedures, with the findings to be presented to council after the 60 days.
Can you say it again? What are you looking for?
I want us to do a review of our snow plow operations, our policy.
I think, Tony, you have that
Yeah,
right
we have a
now.
copy of it. It needs changed.
Yeah. Does everybody want a copy of it? I'll forward. I mean, it's very old. It was written in 2009. It definitely needs to be updated. And I concur that we need to have standard operating guidelines to, so that our public works departments can follow, knowing that every snow can be different.
Right.
So, what really hurt us this time was the temperature. So, and we didn't do a good first push. So, we'll get it. But if you would like a copy, I'd be happy to forward that to you. Okay. Is that okay? Do you need a motion, or you just want me to do that?
Even with that comment, the first effort that they did here, because after that snow issue that we had, which was difficult, I've gone through about 6 towns and 1 city, and they actually did everything the same as we did. I was through Hershey, I was through Annville, I was through Hummelstown. I checked them all out, and they had the same problems that we had. We had a lot of issues, and so did they.
Tom, you're right. I've been up to Milton, and Milton had one good street. I've been all over the place with my job, and they had difficulties as well.
I was in New York City, and New York City was also bad. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah, everybody's inconvenienced with this amount of snow and this temperature. To a certain degree.
Well, I'm sure our Public Works Superintendent would love to sit down. You know, the two of us will sit down with whomever wants to review that, and we can come up with a plan that we can push forward. So
Excellent, excellent.
So,
I'll forward the plan out to everybody.
motion for that, or?
We need a
I'll
motion?
second it.
We just need a consensus?
It's just a consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your motion, you know, gives us a path.
Right.
So, but we don't read a formal, unless you want it to be.
No, let's
Okay.
set this and start
Absolutely.
working on this.
We all agree. I mean, there's no argument here.
One more, Deborah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have one more motion I'd like to make, that the Borough Council appoint Assistant Borough Manager Brenda Pura as the interim Borough Manager effective immediately until council appoints a permanent Borough Manager.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. I think.
So what you're getting into.
Anybody have anything else? I would like to appoint a committee for the search for the new borough manager. I would like to appoint Councilman Flegel and Councilman Andrews and myself, with a alternate being Councilman Rydell, for a search committee. And we'll move forward with all that, and we'll.
For the position.
For the position, yes. I'll get together with you guys and we'll come up with a plan of when to meet. Anybody else have anything? All right, and that will take us to our reports. I'll start with the president's report. We'd like to announce that Roger Powell, Borough Manager, has decided to retire as of Friday, February 6, 2026. For the last 26 years, Roger has spent his career in municipal government. 19 of those were right here in the borough. We owe him some gratitude and for his dependable leadership, and wish him the best in his retirement. And that's all I have. Mayor Miller.
President, I am in complete agreement with you. When we had Roger, he was excellent, so I have worked with him for 8 years when I was on council and right here, so he's done a great job. But I will also say that we are very fortunate to have Brenda, who is absolutely fantastic as well. So I want to thank you for being willing to, you know, hang and hold us together until we can fix the problem. So again, thank you very much.
We'll move forward. We'll
Thank
wish
you.
him well, and we'll move forward.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, we talk a little bit later about the snow, you know, some ideas. But for the most part, I'm good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll move on to the financial report. Financial statement as of January 31st, 2026 will be available at the February 24th meeting. Brenda with the delinquent and sewer and refuge account report.
Okay. I don't know if you noticed that on our website, I have started to post the ancillary reports under the minutes, so these will be posted. For the purposes of reporting, January 2025, in the greater than 100 days for both sewer and refuse, we had $92,162. And this year, we started out with over 180 days at $90,324. So we're doing good. I would love for that to go away, but it's not going to in some measure of amount. But we're working to bring that down every chance we can.
A lot lower than it was years
It's a
back.
lot lower.
Yeah, a lot lower.
questions on the report?
All right, Fire Department and EMS report. Chief Dugan.
Any questions on the year end for 2025?
I did not have any. Did anybody have any questions?
Still navigating this new federal mirror system of reporting to try to generate reports for the monthly reports. Thus far, we've not been successful extracting the data that we normally do, so we're still working on that.
Are you still using the old programming to extract that data then?
No, we can't.
You can't, not at all?
First, we had to switch to mirrors, the new federal tracking, whole new system.
Okay, so is it just showing yearly reports, or is it giving you anything for monthly?
It's giving us some things, but the data is different.
Okay,
The way the federal government's looking at, for example, we base it on station responses, not individual apparatus. The federal government is focused now on apparatus responses. So say we had 50 calls for the month, it might show we had 75 calls for the month. Because it's going on the number of apparatus that responded. So we're trying to navigate that, try to get information as close as we can to what we provided for the last 20 years.
okay. Thank you. Anybody have any questions on the EMS report? All right, Western Lebanon County Regional Police Department, Chief Winters.
We're doing all right for hiring. We have about 12 people that applied. They close in about 2 weeks. We'll do interviews and hopefully get one that'll fill the hole and be able to be a plug and play. That's about it. Next meeting, I'll have your end of the year for 2025, so I can go over that with you then. Anybody has any questions?
All right, Planning Commission. First Evangelical Congregational Church final lot add-on plan. A waiver has been requested. Preliminary plan proceeds, so no preliminary plan will be required. Number 2, section 318.26.j, street right-of-way and cartway widths, so no minimum of 50 feet of require of right-of-way along adjoining streets will be required. Discussion on, if appropriate, suggested motion to approve the recommendation plan by the Palmyra Planning Commission to grant the waivers requested and to grant conditional plan approval contingent on all comments in the review letter dated February 2nd, 2025, and all comments in the Lebanon County Planning Department review letter dated December 23rd, 2025, being satisfied. Anybody have anything on that?
Engineer was fine with everything and essentially just want to sell part of their property.
Okay, so we just need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Public Works Department. We-
Elijah, you can come up to the microphone if you like.
Public Works.
Thanks for having me here, meeting, guys.
Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Elijah, I'm the Public Works Superintendent. You guys all got a copy of my monthly report? We spent a lot of time this month focusing on prepping for snow, potential snow, and for sale of our equipment and maintenance on our equipment. As you guys know, we got a grant for a new vac truck, so we spent a lot of time repairing our old vac truck so it's ready for sale, so we get the most money out of it when it's time to go for sale. This will bring us a higher return at the time of the sale. We've also been participating in demos with various companies to look at different vac trucks to decide which one works the best for us and which one will fit in our budget the best. We're anxious to take ownership of our new vac truck because all the staff will be trained on the equipment and possesses the same knowledge. Additionally, this month we've also helped Y Electric install grinders at all pump stations 1, 2, and Main. That is now complete and they all work great. This will help us no longer have issues with rags and grease getting stuck in our pumps. So hopefully it'll take our maintenance down on our pumps. Additionally, our school zone signs were changed. They were not the same as the flashing lights in the school zone, so we replaced all of them and now they're all in order. We also conducted a lot of tasks, as you guys see on your monthly report. If you guys have any questions, be happy to answer them.
I don't have questions, I just have an answer. Because, you know, what happens is, when we had this heavy-duty snowstorm, which we have all talked about, but what I can tell the community is that there is a heck of a lot of work done by this maintenance crew that you may not know about. And he just basically started, and he spoke about a few of them. But in this town, the amount of work that goes through by them is very phenomenal. And I know we're gonna talk about some things that have been brought up in the past, and I'll let the council talk about it as they're gonna talk about some other things. But I just wanna let you know that there's a heck of a lot of work that gets done, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Elijah.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Elijah.
Thanks for coming in.
Borough Properties. The municipal bill, Brenda, do you have anything on?
We really don't have anything to update at this time. The only thing that I can tell you about the vacant lot at the south side of 900 Block East Cherry Street is we've been using that. Our Public Works crew has been trying to clean up some intersections and take some snow off of the roads, and we've been using that as a deposit location. So they're pushing it back and, continuing to clean up as best they can.
All right, the cemetery?
To quote Roger, it's all quiet.
All right. The parks, Heritage, Mayor's Park, Memorial Park, and Southeast Park.
Well, the only thing that I would ask council is, we have received some people, some requests from our residents that when it snows, to open up the walking trail at Memorial Park. I think we need to incorporate that into our snow plan as to what priority things will be open. I concur that it would be very nice for it to be open, but when we have an opportunity and things are safe on the streets again. So that's the only comment I have about that. I do think it's a good idea, just appropriately.
Everything else is done.
Yeah. Anything else on the parks?
Nothing else.
Refuse and recycling.
We had a few issues with the snow, obviously. Casella was unable to get through some streets. It's not an issue that was limited to just here. It happened. I had that situation at home in Hummelstown. So, but we seem to work through the backlog. Casella worked with us and letting us know when they would be going out and picking up. So we just kept telling people, leave your trash out. They'll be there. They'll be there. So, at least we had good cooperation from Casella on trying to follow through with everybody that had no pickup after the snow.
The sewer system.
Communutors, as Elijah reported, communutors are done. We're hoping, and I'm going to knock wood on this, that it will eliminate emergency call-outs for pump station issues. We'll see how it moves forward. They're working very well right now.
Good. All right. Sinkholes, and it sounds like there's no new ones.
And when all this stuff melts,
On that?
you know,
We
We'll be
just-
ready.
We just won't say it 3 times.
no, no. Very good. We want no Beetlejuice here.
The old sinkholes.
They're just, the 900 East Cherry Street, obviously, we were interrupted. We had Jack Custer that's been, promising to come out and take care of that. He keeps making PA1 calls, but unfortunately, we're not able to address it at this time. So I need to reach out to Jack to see if we can come up with another schedule as to when it's proposed to handle this. That's the 900 block of East Cherry Street Detention Basin. The East Cherry Street, between the curb and sidewalk, we did handle that. That is actually, we're still watching that.
Stormwater management,
And I have nothing at this time for that.
street and alley maintenance.
The only thing I can tell you is I met with Elijah today. We have a software program in which we are able to initiate work orders for our Public Works Department. We've had limited opportunity to get everybody trained. It is a goal to have all of the Public Works and all of our office staff trained on this software program. We're paying for it, we're going to use it. So this will allow us, when we get phone calls, to earmark where the call is coming in, and then they will be able to handle each work order in an order that makes more sense, instead of starting at the west and going to the east and then heading to the north. And so they'll be able to plan, especially this pertains to alleys. As we get complaints, we will submit them. The alleys are gonna break up. I mean, we know what's coming this spring. They're going to break up, if they're not already broken. So we're gonna initiate that. I mean, in a perfect world, we'd have that sooner rather than later, but we'll get it.
All right, traffic signals.
I have nothing to share with that.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to share for? Okay.
Nope.
Solicitor's report.
As I've reported earlier, I'll be working with our solicitor and making sure that we do have a solid snow removal policy that stays within guidelines and stays within laws if they're there, So, still doing the research, and we'll get you a plan. Or we'll work with you to get your plan.
Thanks, Bud.
Zoning and code enforcement.
Well, you have the report.
Remember.
If there's any questions on the report, we have to.
I don't have any questions on it. Anybody have any questions?
I thought I was writing over everything.
Checked it out earlier.
Zoning Hearing Board, results of hearing conducted on Monday, February 9th at 5:30 PM. 101 North Harrison Street, Venture Real Estate Development, the announcement of the decision.
The decision was, the plan was denied, the application was denied on the basis that the special exception to substitute the existing nonconformity, that was denied, and the height request was denied. So it was shot down.
Okay. 740 West Main Street, the owner of Gelato and Company, applicant Karen Staub. Who's the,
I think that, I don't know, I'll have to check on that name, but anyway, that was approved.
That wasn't the name.
No, Kendra
Yeah.
Daub?
Kendra-
Yeah, I'm looking at that, and it
Yeah,
just
that
didn't
is-
make sense. I think that was left over from,
Yeah, last time.
so it's
Yeah, we
Kendra,
all
yeah.
changed it last time, too.
okay.
I don't know.
But that was
That's not
actually
the name.
approved. So
Good.
the kitty rescue is
Okay.
hopefully gonna be up and running.
All right. And 235 West Main Street, Todd and Shelley Gerhard.
That was approved with conditions. It was, the one condition is regarding the impervious coverage. They were requested to remove some asphalt and leave enough for 3 parking spaces, so it would improve their impervious. And also, it has been requested that they designate the property as a single-family home for sale purposes. So it was conditional, but approved.
All right. Borough Manager's Report.
Well, if you will indulge me, I would just like to make a couple comments. 17 of the 19 years that Roger worked for this borough, I was pleased to work beside him. He has taught me a lot, and I consider myself ready to accept this position temporarily. I'm still retiring until, you name a person. But I feel prepared simply because of the education I learned from a man who really enjoyed and took the job seriously and was very loyal to this community. So I appreciate you giving me the chance. We'll keep you running.
Yep, thank you for stepping up and taking that position. Do you have anything else?
I do not at this time.
No communications. Anybody have any other business?
No, I'm good.
Brenda, thank you
Oh,
for
you're
stepping
welcome.
up.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I also served on Borough Council with Roger for 12 years, and I learned a lot from him, too. So we'll get through it.
I'm jealous of him. He retired.
He retired.
I'm trying to get there.
Patience.
At this time, I'd like to open public comment period number 2. Please step to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and try to limit your comments to 3 minutes.
All right, Dave Heinigan and 651 South Harrison. Just to public support. The gentleman sat over there last week. He mentioned about changing some code for fire hydrants. As I walked around town, as I drove around town, I saw a lot of fire hydrants buried behind 13, 20 feet of snow. And our firemen, I can't even imagine doing their job, running into, burning buildings and dealing with John Q. Public, which I can imagine is a complete and total nightmare, because I just can't imagine, I really can't even imagine it. But these fire hydrants are not dug out, and now you have water on top of snow and ice. I'm sure the fire chief can speak to it a lot better than I can, but to me, that just seems like an absolute hazard. So the gentleman who spoke last week, who mentioned about changing ordinance and possibly enforcing fire hydrant clearing if they have one on the property, I absolutely support that 100%. I don't have one, but I will absolutely go around and help. I can pick things up and put them down. So, as for the people on the board, my question was true. What kind of board do you want to be? I sincerely appreciate everyone up here. Y'all ran for office. I can't imagine doing that. So y'all ran for office. Y'all were on the ticket. You got voted in. It's something that I'm standing here and you're up there, so I obviously didn't do. My name wasn't on the ballot. I had no interest in doing it. This is a commitment that I had no interest in. I have other commitments in my life, and they take a lot of time. So I can't imagine that this is easy for any one of you up here. So it's easier for us to throw darts, because you're sitting up here in front of us, and we have the frustrations of the town. But what I said at the beginning about we have a great little town. We really do. I would have laughed. I did leave for a long time, but I came back, because this is my home. So we have a great town. It's you see the parks and the streets, and yeah, the poison ivy is disgusting, and I really don't like that. Especially when my kids and my dogs get it and they pass it off to my kids, so that extends the amount of time that they have it. I wish there was something we could do about that, but overall, we
park
have a
is that?
great town. I'm sorry?
Which park is that?
No, it's
Boys
just
Island?
houses along routes that we walk.
Oh, okay.
But we have people, like I mentioned at the opening, you know, people like Mel, who stand on Ford Street, and I've seen that guy almost get hit and killed so many times. Like, he literally risks his life daily to make sure 4 and 5-year-olds get across the street, and he knows all of their names. Like, it's amazing to watch, and then the parents come and he talks to the parents by name. I'm gonna struggle to remember your names next week, because I can't remember names worth a darn. But, you know, Mel's down there, and we have people like Mel in the community. We have people like, you know, Dave Brand, we have people like, the gentleman mentioned earlier, you know, companies and businesses that went around and picked up the slack where, you know, where our plow teams weren't able to. So you have a lot of residents that are willing to put the time and effort in, and you guys are part of those residents. So I just want to say, you know, it's not all negative. We appreciate y'all sitting up here. We appreciate you running for the board, your time and effort to sit here and do this, and also to voluntarily be the dartboard for the community. So, for whatever it's worth, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
And Dave, we understand, like, you guys are here, typically, you guys come when you're frustrated, you know, or you're passionate about something, and we thank you for taking that time. And I'm pretty sure, like, I know I ran because I have a passion for our community, and we are really trying. We're looking at these issues and trying to figure out different ways to make our town better.
Well, I appreciate it. That's why I wanted to come up and say thank you.
Thank you.
For our great little town, and I promise you, I will not be like a beacon of negativity at these meetings from here on out. I promise you that. But
And Mr. Ryan, a few of us did discuss about the fire hydrants, and that's one thing we're gonna look at doing as an ordinance, but one of the things is too, we wanna group a couple of them together at one time, because they gotta go to our solicitor, and
We're
each
trying to
one we
save
send money, it costs money, so a packet of them together. But
I
we're gonna
imagine
work on that.
there's so many rules and regulations and
Yeah.
red tape and everything else that you all have to go through. But just for one person speaking in the community, like, I can't imagine what our fire department goes through when they do show up to an actual call, and they have to, you know, they have 20 feet of ice and snow that they have to cross, and now they're risking, you know, they're risking to fall, they're risking to back change. They're already risking their lives and major injury to their bodies and to their life. And then to have to deal with that too, because somebody couldn't put 10 minutes in with a snow blower to blow out probably 2 minutes with a snow blower to blow out the fire hydrant, or 10 minutes with a shovel. Man, come on, that's just lazy. So, but anyways,
Thank you for your comments.
Also, just thank you to the community members who are kind of stepping up in different areas and helping with different snow.
Hi, Bill Siders again. I happened to find pictures, and a picture's worth 1,000 words. And here's what was, the sidewalk in front of, 717 and that's how bad the state threw the snow over. Because what I did is, I know snow. I made a wall on the outside so the plow wouldn't throw it. And they still got it over. And then our code enforcer was running down there writing these people up. Because here you have a lot of distance. When you get down to Taste of Sicily, your curb and sidewalk's right there. So if they throw it over, they got the.
Thank you.
And then the other issue I wanted to show you is, when I told you about the code enforcer, when I was, doing that.
Bill, could you go back to the microphone?
Yes, yes. Well, I'm gonna show you another picture.
Okay, that's,
When he
That's okay.
told me there was no snow in front of Cliff Lewis. And that's what I was, digging for. There you can see a windrow, the whole way down past Cliff Lewis. And he said that they cleaned it and somebody put that back in there. No way. And then here's one more picture. This is between Lisa and Cliff Lewis. That was your sidewalk.
I don't even see, all I see is snow.
This is, yeah, that's all it is.
Okay, but it's like a big,
mound.
It's a
okay.
mound.
It's a mount here. There's a,
That's what it looks like now?
no, it was straightened out after I,
Oh, okay.
that's why I went to him to say something.
Oh, okay.
And they got smart with me on top of it. And another part is.
Okay, we'll look into that.
While they were writing everybody up, Heritage Park was never shoveled. The sidewalks were all covered with snow. And if you go to Todd Gutschall's site on Facebook, he has pictures of it on there.
That was from the drifting of the snow, and
And that was addressed
like,
that day.
that was addressed that day.
Well, it's like the same thing as these people here. If they went to work that day, after the 24 hours and didn't have time, they shouldn't have been cited either.
But Bill, just in the codes officer's defense, he doesn't go out right away and hit people with tickets. He goes out and tries to make contact with them. He gives them a good 12 to 24 to 48 hours sometimes before he hits them with a ticket. And when they do get a ticket, it's because it's been like 3 to 4 days until they did any kind of snow removal.
Yeah, I understand that.
But you're sitting here bashing him, saying he's not doing his
Does
job.
that look like the proper width for a sidewalk?
No, the people can pass.
Right, that's all it needs to be.
Well,
I mean, I'm sorry, I'll be
so
quiet, but I mean,
here,
I'm listening
we're
to
all
him
talking
bash
about-
the codes guy, and he
we're all
does his
talking
job.
about trying to make things safer.
And he's a smart man.
Bill, I can't answer for that, but
I
I think.
can, because I dealt with him.
Bill, we're all talking about trying to make things
Right.
safer, so,
Yeah, you have to be able to.
you
walk
know,
on the
if
sidewalk.
he's
It
out
doesn't
there
have to
kinda-
be the whole width.
When the borough and the guy was trying to get the
Thank you, Bill.
This is how he did a sidewalk, going over to Grant Street.
Yeah.
That's what our kids are walking on, 18 inches.
3.5.
Thank you, Bill.
yeah.
One more. All right.
Have at it.
Ryan Kelly, for 134 North Chestnut. Most of you guys probably know me from zoning. I'm not here to talk about any particular case, but I did hear Annette earlier, and I hear some concerns from the mayor and things that we can do moving forward to improve the town. I've been on the zoning board since, I think, 2014, and we had a big case that you just read the decision from last night. Here's what I would say. A lot of other towns that incentivize people along Main Street, they do it in a manner, this is above my pay grade, I don't know, but I'm asking you to look into it. Maybe you could look into an overlay district, some kind of economic development overlay district where you as Borough Council could look at the existing zoning, go through, look at those blighted properties or the properties that don't look that great, overlay a whole district, and I believe with your solicitor, you might be able to define that overlay district where you define exactly, I mean, I don't know, Brenda, but they would have some control over defining what would, loosen strings or tighten strings within that, making it maybe more economically feasible for an investor to purchase one of those properties, because they might be looking at them along Main Street now and saying, hey, this is in a highway commercial, I'm limited to this height or this setback or this parking, it's just not viable for me to purchase the property. And I think it might be a way around, there's other properties, maybe the one that was denied, maybe other factories, maybe things that are industrial park areas. I think you could look at overlaying those areas too. It might be less expensive than opening up the existing zones that are already there, but I think it's something worth looking at. I think if an investor sees that the town is willing to step up and say, hey, these are areas we'd like investments in. Of course, if you're a property owner and you're in one of those, the argument could be that, hey, why should we reward certain property owners? Maybe their property would be more valuable than to sell. Well, that's true. It's just like saying if someone buys a property along Main Street 20 years ago, and then when the zoning was redone in 2015, and something that was a residential house became highway commercial or became central business district, of course it became more valuable. So, that's just natural progression. So I think it's just something worth looking at. I think it might be a way to get investors into some of those properties. So, that's it.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for all you do with zoning as well.
Yes.
Well, we were
I played hooky.
Anyone else for public comment period number 2? All right, I'll close public comment Period number 2. Announcements, Palmyra Borough Council will conduct its next public meeting on Tuesday, February 24th, 2026, and Tuesday, March 10th, 2026, beginning at 7 p.m. Before we adjourn, Borough Council will hold an executive session to discuss personal matters. No official action will be taken in executive session. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.